All right, welcome back to the middle of semifinals game of GPC. We have Nyx versus Scribble. Nyx is on Naya ramp, featuring the Ramsey, Pale Scatter, like Primary Surgeons. Well, Primary Surgeons isn't in the hand right now, but yeah, featuring the Land Aura ramp package, and it's going into white for Endless Helpless Souls. And meanwhile, Scribble is on Grixis Temple, featuring Slippery Assassin to tempo out the opponent and counter their spells. It seems like if this is game one, then Scribble has definitely been stuck on lands right now. They're still stuck on 2 lands for some reason.
Hmm.
But meanwhile, Nyx. Oh, Asti, you're here. That's
I am, yes.
perfect timing, actually. So, are you looking at the game right now?
Yeah, I just got in here. I had to pull up deck lists and everything.
Well, I wasn't around for the start of the game either. So, actually, is this game one or game two?
This should be given that Scribble only hopped on 8 minutes ago, I do hope that this is game one.
Hey, Temple can
I
win
really hope.
fast enough. Like, imagine if Nyx just got massacred and then just conceded on turn 4.
I was assuming like Molda 6, Molda 5, Molda 4, GG, game 2. But that's also possible.
Okay, so
Oh.
anyways, yeah, let's actually talk about the games. Scribble is still stuck on 2 lands, so it looks like at least one player's getting massacred right now.
Mm-hmm.
But they can still do plenty of stuff on 2 lands. It's just that,
Yeah.
oh, did Nyx pass without playing anything?
No, Nick's not playing anything. I don't really like Rogers Frenzy there.
I mean, you're not doing anything
No,
else.
it's true, but also like I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would rather even just point at Nyx's face. Like Lone Surveyor is a
It
1/3.
gets it out of the
It's
way
not
for the
doesn't do
1/1s.
yeah. Did get a third land here.
Well, they can start doing things that they can start double spelling once they get their 4th land.
Hmm.
Actually, they can call up Rogar's flashback.
They can. Well, that's not. You can't double spell with that.
Also, did Nyx just pass a turn
Also,
without doing anything?
yeah,
That feels incorrect. They
feels
should
bad.
they should be
Yeah.
trying to jam stuff into the opponent's side.
Yeah. Scribble has basically nothing here, though. There's 2 slippery assassins, which are nice, but other than that, you have 3 cane dancers and
What do you mean
no
basically
sight of.
nothing? I think they're favored right now. They just keep attacking with their creatures while Nyx is forced to do stuff, and the slippery assassins will counter anything that Nyx plays.
At some point, I mean, you only have 2 slippery assassins, though, and then once you get out of that, you're in a dire
The game's gonna end
circumstances.
before then. Look, you
I,
you have a board. You're going to you have 5 damage per turn. That's like a 4 turn clock.
mm, I don't know. You probably have more experience with Grixis and
No,
Teamwork
I don't.
Tempo than I do.
I don't actually have that much experience with those tempo decks. The deck that I was playing back then was Gamer Rune Brawler, which does have a lot of the same cards, at least pre-nerf, but is more of a
Mm,
mid-range deck than a tempo deck. And they're going to animate Crumbling Shrine. Okay, yeah, I see that's why they kept up the mana.
mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, Scribble can't actually respond, can't punish this play because they already used Rogar's Frenzy.
No, but that's so.
Nyx, okay, Nyx can slam
Nick
Summit Guardian. They're
But yeah, Nyx can just slam Summit Guardian here, and there's nothing that Scribble can do about it.
they're not slamming Summit Guardian. They're playing around. They're using EHS to play around Oral Fracture, but
Yeah,
unfortunately, this is the wrong card to play around because Scribble can Slippery Assassin.
yeah.
They're
That's
not going to
that's
Slippery
the thing. Like
Assassinate.
here, if you play around a counter spell, then there's 3 counter spells in the deck. In terms of them, one only like both of these only counted by one of them.
Yeah,
EHS only gets counted by Slippery Assassin here because if they have a Cosmic Sinkhole, you have the mana. Oh, you don't have the mana. Well, you have the mana. You just have to have your Crumbling Shrine. If they have Sinkhole against Guardian, then you don't get it out. And with the amount of creatures that do stuff, Summit Guardian isn't like completely backbreaking.
it's a big blocker.
No. Only hits Ramsey off of
No, they get Wild Invocation to hand, so they manage to get
oh.
the full. They manage to roll 2 cards off
Yeah.
EHS, and that's what Slippery Assassin is hitting.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually quite problematic because Nyx is still behind on board, and Veilborn Meddler gets a
Mm-hmm.
counter.
I'm gonna play Petal Scatterer here, I
Okay, yeah,
guess.
that and Petal
Which
Scatter is only a 4/4. It blocks the assassin, but it doesn't block Veilborn Meddler. I mean, next turn, Nyx has plays. They can Wild Invocation for a bunch.
yeah.
Although they can't.
No, you could even. I don't know what is in the deck to invocation. It looks like there's plenty of things.
Well,
You
basically,
just like.
you can wild invocation for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can wild invocation for a 5-drop.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check if
Scribble draws.
uh,
Scribble draws Panya, which isn't like. It's not terrible.
it's
It's a
actually
second
no,
spell
it's quite
for
good
Veilboard.
because it fits the curve. You can double spell this turn now.
Yeah.
So as for what Nyx can fetch with wild invocation, they can just they can grab 2 petal scatters, and that makes all their existing petal scatters super huge, and it sets up for wild invocation number 2.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what you do here. Is you go for wild invocation for a petal scatterer.
It gets super punished by what was the card that countered monocolored spells?
Destructive
Yeah,
ambition.
so that play gets super punished by destructive ambition. Meanwhile, the other play gets punished by attacks and counter spell. So you just have to pick your battles here. Scribble.
And luckily you can't make a wrong choice here because I don't think either of them get punished by a slippery assassin, which can only get up to 3.
What's next to you? They're wild invocationing for 2. That
Could just be server lag. I don't know.
they're thinking. Yeah, they're thinking if they want the wild invocation for. Oh no, Scribble doesn't run. They don't run Portal Factor, right? They only run Cosmic Sinkhole.
Not main. Yeah, no portal fracture. So just
So
cosmic signal.
it's just Cosmic and Destructive Ambition that you have to play around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Nyx definitely is going for it. They're playing Summit Guardian instead. I mean, that does shut down all the counter spells.
Mm-hmm. That means, yeah, you can be, because you're not going to get countered. Basically, you just have to play around Slippery Assassin until Scribble gets another land and Sinkhole, I guess.
Oh,
But,
right. Yeah, Summit Guardian does not stop Cosmic Sinkhole at all,
no, it does not.
which means that it doesn't actually help the wild invocation. Well, it sort of does, but no, Summit Guardian
It saves
stops your own wild invocation.
Ganaraga's Frenzy, makes sense. Slippery Assassin.
Yeah. Slippery Assassin is a 4/4 now, which means now it trades with all of Nyx's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised that Scribble didn't just try to end of turn play a bunch of spells above the Veilborn Meddler, because I feel like that, like getting a 5/5 Veilborn is much more helpful than whatever this is.
Yeah, now Wild Invocation just gets
Oh, never mind. Greenwood Outrider off the top, never punished. I think
never
that
punished.
just wins, right? Can you do the math for me?
I don't know about combat math. I can tell you Scribble doesn't counter it. So
Okay, so once this enters, it gives everything. So they have 2 storied, so everything gets +2/+2 and trample. Does that win?
Mm-hmm. Let's Scribble getting like Anya and then some other creature off from Meddler.
Wait, they're going to
Not
Wild Invocation instead.
no.
That does not with execute. Interesting decision, but I mean it's actually fine because they just fetch Pel Scatter here, and now they got some giant Pel Scatters that the opponent can't easily deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess they can fetch 2 Bessie's Brood or something. Let me check if Nyx is running Bessie's Broods main.
Not main, no. There's one on the board, none main.
Oh, they're
Scribble is thinking about this. Gonna Cane Dancer in response.
are they playing around Fox Viewer? Wait, is that?
Mm.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that does it, right? So it execute. So that's a 5-mana spell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they can counter it and then still keep Veilborn Meddler around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's quite concerning because now the opponent has a giant Slippery Assassin too.
Mm-hmm. It comes down to green. I mean, you just Greenwood Outrider next turn, and
you have to survive this turn.
I mean, I don't know if Scribble can get like 4 more power on board or something like that.
They definitely can. They just play some creatures and sack them to Slippery Assassin. Oh, and Destructive.
Destructive.
Okay, yeah, that's game.
Yeah,
I think
that's game.
there you have. Nyx is going to chump.
Yeah, and then Giant Slam Outrider, get Punk.
Actually, you can actually just play Pale Scatter and swing out.
Mm-hmm.
Like just don't, because you can just win by attacking for 2 turns in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So that forces the opponent to tap out for Destructive Ambition if they want to, and then if that happens, then you actually no wait, that's still bad for you. Okay, so in that case, you just smack their face, and then chump with Summit Guardian on the backswing.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess, yeah, you just whack them with Summon Guardian down to 8. So that is lethal range if nothing else happens.
Yeah.
Summon Guardian doesn't even prevent Cane Dancer's Destructive Ambition. Yeah, Summon Guardian did absolutely nothing this game.
No, it really didn't. Yeah, Summon Guardian is not super impactful against this kind of tempo deck. You just get so much value out of Slippery Assassin, Veilborn Meddler, and Cane Dancer.
You're gonna Wild Invocation for 0? That's no, Nick. That's Summon Guardian exists. Hopefully Scribble
I don't
catches
think
it. Oh no, now we have to do a judge call.
They also missed one earlier in the game too, when next to the Ferox equals 3.
Wait, really? Ah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that might. Should we do a judge call?
I don't know. I don't remember the.
Also, next, this is not how Ramsey works. Wait, Wild Invocation doesn't care about makes it non-legend. Wait, Wild Invocation is really good with Ramsey. I didn't realize that. No wonder Nyx is playing it. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it makes it non-legendary, so Ramsey can do the old Pronouncer Preserves doubling up thing. And now they finally realize. You know what's funny? Every time I commentate with you, we always end up in the middle of a judge call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about stuff in the meantime, or do you just want me to pause the recording?
Oh no. This is statistically unlikely. I feel like the amount of times that this happens.
I know, right?
Where statistically unlikely.
All right, seems like the judge call got resolved, so it's just a big rewind, right?
Looks like yeah. So
Yeah.
Reverse all the way back to before the cast occurred.
Yep. They also need to get rid of the tokens. And Nick says that they might have thrown, and I agree, sort of. I don't think Greenwood Outrider would have helped it. Well, Greenwood Outrider would require the Slippery Assassin to sack their entire board, which would mean that at least they would be in a slightly better position. But yeah, now that Cane Dancer exists, Nyx can't play around Destructive Ambition. Cane Dancer Destructive Ambition just stopped anything they can do. So, not a great situation to be in.
No.
I guess they actually can. So if Scribbl attacks with everything, Semi-Guardian can go on the Slippery Assassin and kill that. Then afterwards, Nyx animates Lumbering Hillock and swings with everything. But no, that doesn't work out super well because Scribbl can just...
Yeah, Scribbl can just chomp.
Can throw down some stuff to chomp. Well, at least then they won't be able to have mana up for Destructive Ambition, right? No, they still would because they get the Panya.
Yeah.
Alright, looks like Nyx will have to win game 2 then. I don't think the matchup gets any better for them post-board. Meanwhile, Scribbl actually gets to bring in more counter spells. Actually, I think the matchup's roughly even post-board. Maybe Nyx does get advantages because they get to bring in some more silver bullets to tutor for. But yeah, so you have to block here. Do you want to block a Summon Guardian, or do you want to throw away? Might actually be better to throw away Pale Scatter. Because Summon Guardian, at least it also has Vigilance, so it can protect against the backswing if it ever becomes relevant.
And block the Meddler with the Scatterer. Animate Hillock. I don't know. I think that is definitely better because then you have Summon Guardian.
Oh, if there's, they're doing double blocks. That feels like a losing play.
Yeah.
I guess they're just hoping that Wild Invocation resolves. Can they?
Well, it's not gonna resolve.
But they don't know that.
The Destructive Ambition is in great, especially given you've seen a Cane Dancer.
Yeah, so it's not like you want to play around Cane Dancer here. Ramsey actually lets Nyx survive for 2 more turns, or I mean 1 more turn.
Yeah, dropping Ramsey here definitely smart.
Well, no, it doesn't help because Scribbl just gets to play Panya and take an extra turn, and that kills Nyx. Or does it? I mean, Ramsey can block 2 turns in a row. That's something at least. That does survive the Panya tail. Then afterwards, I guess you. I don't see what you're doing after.
Oh,
they're spending the Cane Dancer early. Okay, Nyx can Wild Invocation now.
Oh boy.
I'm not sure what they can Wild Invocation for a 3-drop. I'm not exactly sure what 3-drop they can grab to save themselves here, but it's something they can do. They can Wild Invocation for a Ramsey, probably. I think that's probably the better Wild Invocation target. Although do they have?
You don't get duplicate of it because you can't tap things.
Does Nyx have any Ramses left in their deck? They have 4 Ramses. Okay, so they can grab Ramsey if they want. And I think that's what you have to do here to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're grabbing Ramsey. Actually, do they have enough mana to animate Lumbering Hillock and also Greenwood Outrider in the same turn now? Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, they're still a ways away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But if they top deck, no, there's nothing they can top deck here that would save them.
Yeah.
GG.
Panya and stuff.
GG.
GG.
Okay, well, it looks like we're going into sideboarding, and the interesting sideboard here
Mm-hmm.
is
Ooh, the
going to
boards, yeah.
be Nyx, because they have silver bullets.
Yeah. Lots of cards here.
So let's see. First of all, I think Solar Flare Plov comes in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's instant speed removal. I think it comes in. They also have
Mm-hmm.
Aurora Hydra, which can't be countered, but I'm actually not sure how good this card is after seeing what happened last game, because like a 5/4 doesn't cut it in this matchup, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, this deck just doesn't have ways to like straight up murk creatures or anything.
They have. Do they have Earthbreaker Behemoth? They're not running Earthbreaker Behemoth in this deck. Oh, right. They're interesting. Okay. So I guess they bring in Bressy's Brood because it kills small stuff, and that's really all you can hope for. Maybe Shepherd of Nowhere could be useful for blowing up the opponent's board, but I don't know how they're ever going to resolve that.
No, yeah, that's
Okay.
not ever gonna hit ground.
Scribble meanwhile just brings in 4 still Pandemoniums and feels pretty happy about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least some number still. I don't think you want to bring in the full suite because your opponent does have creatures. But it does counter it does a better job of countering their EHSs than
Yeah.
Destructive Ambition.
With
So there's
like
that.
Nyx has creatures, but as a whole, you really want to be countering the non-creature spells.
Yeah.
Like you're not too worried. Like you have a lot of the creatures you have other ways of dealing with already.
Nyx has a hand with turn 1 Primal. I think they definitely keep this, and they do the turn 1 Primal.
Mm-hmm.
Scribble has a hand with counter spells and stuff, but Nyx will be able to slam a turn 2. Don't get anything super great on turn 2. They just play Ramsey and
No.
pass, I guess. And
Yeah.
hold up an instant speed beckon or something. They're getting lands, okay.
Yeah.
They're still not screwed yet, I guess. Yeah, play land, play Ramsey. That plays around Cosmic Sinkhole.
Mm-hmm.
And they're Amber Hilling right now. Interesting.
That's odd.
They're setting up. I guess they're fetching red, but I would have played out Forest first so that you don't lose as much life, because life does matter in this matchup.
Absolutely, yeah.
Potting off the top.
Mm-hmm. So now they have still the Pandemonium.
Well, they don't. They don't have the right mana, or they don't have the right colors.
Wow.
Yes, Frostfire Geysers is not cooperating with them.
That's true, yeah.
Seeker of Untouched, that's quite good in the tempo matchup, at least.
Mm.
So I guess you can beckon for 2 at instant speed if you want to. I don't think Scribble wants to jam beckon into a known counter spell though, so
No.
they probably just want to hold up beckon. Maybe play out Seeker first. I mean, Seeker is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, you can beckon for 4 at instant speed here.
Oh yeah, you
because you have that aura.
Or you use this to bait all your opponent's Playable Meddler, and then you beckon for 4. There's nothing great at 4. Like, you have good stuff at 3, but nothing great at 4.
Yeah. There's nothing at 4, even in the board, so getting Battle Scatterer is nice here, though.
Actually, yeah, good point. I was thinking more of grabbing Bessie's Brood to kill the Veilbore Meddler before it grows, but Battle Scatter is also quite good.
That's smart if Scribble Veilborn's here.
They will, okay.
And they do. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Veilborn Meddler, good card.
So let's see if Nyx goes for Beckon now. The problem with beckoning right now is that now you're out of gas.
Yeah.
I guess you have Lumbering Hillock, so I guess if you grab Bessie's Brood, you blow up Veilbore Meddler, and then you just do Lumbering Hillock beats, and so that your opponent can't counter anything that you do.
Yeah. If you hang on to Beckon, it's not really gonna last super long or anything. You know your opponent's on the counter magic to deal with it.
But you can hold up at instant speed, so like your opponent can't exactly tap out. The problem is that your opponent has Veilbore Meddler, so they're ahead on board, so they can afford to hold up the counter magic. So like, you kind of have to do something here. You can't just wait, because that just makes Veilbore Meddler stronger.
True, yeah.
So I guess Nyx is just deciding between Bessie's Brood and Pale Scatter. And there's nothing else that they could have brought in, right? I mean, technically, if they brought in Sackbow, I mean, Sackbow is
It's a magic card.
It does grow. Like, it does give you a way to spend your mana without getting countered.
That is true.
I'm not sure if that's what you want to do. If you do that, you get to keep around the land aura, so that could be good. And then that means your
Mhm.
top decks become really scary because you have access to 7 mana next turn.
Yeah. If you can, I think that's definitely the play.
Yeah, I think I'm getting more and more sold on the Sackbow plan. Well, it seems like Nyx is still thinking.
Big game here.
Yeah. Uh, I don't think that was a correct play.
Huh.
They weren't thinking, they just
No,
forgot to pass the turn.
Hmm.
I mean, Nyx doesn't get punished for it because Scribble drew 0 counter spells that actually hit Beckon if Nyx decides to Beckon and play around Cosmic Sinkhole.
Mm-hmm.
And they naturally draw Pale Scatter.
Guess they want to do it for like more mana, maybe?
Nyx attacks first. Okay, let's see if Scribble takes the bait. They're not going to take the bait, but yeah. They
Now
probably want to do it for more mana. I mean, what? They're going to hold up Beckon end of turn. Okay, yeah, that actually does make sense.
Yeah. I mean, now you're letting your opponent get 2 blue mana, though.
Right. But the thing is, your opponent can't tap out now because if they tap out, you just beckon out a 6-drop, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or no, you get to beckon out a 5-drop.
Oh, well, speaking of tapping out,
Yeah.
just
Okay,
gonna
but what 5-drop?
drop.
Because Reclamation Grove Sculptor, that masks opponent,
Mm,
assuming that they brought it in. If they're just going to
yeah,
tutor for an Aurora Hydra, that's not good enough.
no.
If they tutor out Summit Guardian, then it seems like Nyx learned absolutely nothing from last game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Grove Sculptor's pretty good. Getting Hydra here is just, you don't really want to tutor for an Aurora Hydra.
Yeah, it's just really bad value.
I think a 5/4, like, has to be better.
Oh god, they did that.
Mm. That is probably the worst thing that spell could have gotten.
In fact, you probably should have just gone Summon Guardian instead, because at least it
Mm-hmm.
also has Vigilance and Reach. The
Yeah,
Hexproof is
Summon Guardian
absolutely
has keywords.
the Hexproof is absolutely useless here, I think.
Mm-hmm. Scribble doesn't really have. It's a 5/4 already. The burn is kind of
It's a 5/4
limited.
vanilla.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Nyx can Pell Scatter into EHS, and that gets answered by Still Pandemonium into Cosmic Sinkhole.
Mm.
Let's see if Scribble tries to trade with this thing.
Getting a swing with Aurora Hydra. Gonna take it.
They take. Alright, hopefully Scribble jams Pedal Scatter first. Because, oh no, they're going to try to jam EHS first. That's not good. They're going to Pedal Scatter first, I guess, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not a fan of how they're sequencing it. Like, they probably should. No, if they want to fetch red, they can't do it. They have to do it like this. The Scribble can tap out for Cosmic Sinkhole, but if they do that, I think Nyx is more than happy to pay for it. Because now that means that, okay, I guess EHS is getting countered, but that's fine because Nyx has Pell Scatter on board now. And they're going to let the Blossom on the Respun substratum. Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming this thing's fetching Mountain. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Should attach it to Wayfarer's Shrine. Absolutely.
So that's EHS getting countered by the Pandemonium,
Yeah.
and now Nyx is out of cards in hand again. Wait, they have EHS coming back, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if they draw a land, they can coalesce EHS next turn.
Yeah, but then simply still the Pandemonium.
But that's fine. Like you have a board, you can start swinging in and force your opponent to counter stuff. But actually,
Still the Pandemonium. And still the Pandemonium is such a good card.
yeah, if you can get the colors for it.
Yeah.
Scribble just passes. Rumbling Shrine. Well, it's a land. That does something.
It's a land that does something, which, yeah.
I mean, that's not every land does something. Some lands only make mana.
That's true, yeah. They're gonna animate Lumbering
Yeah, it
Hillock
plays around
here,
counter
which
spells.
makes sense. Yeah.
And then just
Simply uncounterable 4/4.
and they swing in with everything, including Antelope. Interesting choice.
Who needs Aurora Hydra when you have Lumbering Hillock?
It does put the opponent in an unenviable position. Wait, they have a third Veilbore Midler? Well, that's going to become a pretty big problem quite soon.
Yeah.
Anya. Okay, now the opponent's board is just bigger than the Nyx's board. And they
Yeah.
just get to kill everything.
3 Veilborn Meddlers is pretty good.
At least the Veilborn Millers didn't get to counter anything, but this is
Yeah.
not the situation you want to be in. Also, just putting it out there, if Nyx fetch or something different off the beacon of the wilds, I think they will be in a much better position. Like, even if they just
Yeah.
grab the Pale Scouter would still be better than Aurora or Hydra right now. Like, again, Aurora Hydra does nothing once if you fetch it off the beacon because it's just a vanilla 5/4. You spent 6 mana in the beacon for a vanilla 5/4.
Best case scenario is like if you do side in the Reclamation Grove Sculptor, and then your opponent's life is just ruined.
But the thing is, like, you're never going to side in Reclamation Grove Sculptor in this matchup because your opponent has nothing good to hit with it other than if you manage to get it down early and smack their mana sources. Like, you can't rely on it, so you're not boarding it in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just putting it out there, Aurora Hydra is not a good card to bring in this matchup because I don't think of...
Yeah, it just doesn't do anything, and Veilborn Meddlers get too big for it fairly quickly. And now Nyx just has the worst board here.
a Wild Invocation off the top.
Gonna keep it there.
Blizzard Morass. Okay, so that's 4 mana, so Scribble can now double spell with their Cane Dancers. Okay, I mean Scribble is down to 7 at least, but Nyx is going to be down to a lot less than that quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like nothing Nyx can get off the top that would save them here because the opponent has counter spells. I mean Scribble is dead to 2 Lumbering Hillock Swings, so if Nyx can like set up a board state where that becomes relevant, then it could matter. Do you throw Rammed in from the Veilborn Meddler? Nyx says no. Okay, now they're dead Panya then, if Panya ever gets online.
Which could be like a turn from now.
Wait, can Nyx activate Crumbling Shrine? No, they can't.
There's Wild Invocation.
Okay, so what? Yeah, Nyx had to... They should have bought Wild Invocation because it doesn't do enough in this situation.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if there is anything you can really get unless you...
Well, you're just hoping your opponent doesn't have a handful of counter spells.
They do.
But you don't know that.
That's true. You play like they don't have counter spells, because like if they have counter spells like they have, like Scribble has right now, you can't really do much regardless.
Yeah.
Cane Dancer.
And that's game. Is that game? If it's not game, it's pretty close to game.
I don't think there's anything Nyx can do after this, because it's not technically game because you can block, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, Ramp isn't making it.
Sad.
Darn, Ramp couldn't even get a GP win before it got nerfed into the ground.
What's gonna get nerfed in Ramp?
The Green Sun Zeniths are all double green now. Yeah, we MSEM is not going to get any more actual greens on Zenith. Everything is going to be double green and then X.
Sad.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sad.
Oh yeah, also Primal Resurgence and Pale Scouter are also being nerfed, so...
Wow. Shoot.
Yeah.
I need to keep up with these patch notes, clearly.
Yeah, but... I mean, if Nyx actually won this game, then they would have been in contention to get the 3 GP wins in a row, like the ones that... Like the time I got a 3 GP win in a row, that one time.
Oh, they're banning Foxpewer.
Yeah, they are.
Dude, May Madness hit like crazy.
Well, anyways, this was Ramp's last showing, so yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully we'll be able to cover the finals, which will be a game between 2 counterspell heavy decks.